Welcome to NFL News Update, where touchdowns meet headlines. Stay in the game with the freshest NFL updates. This is your quick dive into football fervor.
Cowboys Jerry Jones clarifies comments on Mike McCarthy's future. I couldn't be more pleased. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones seemingly is as fickle as ever. Following Sunday's victory over the Commanders to close the season with 12 wins, the No. 2 seed, and an NFC East title, Jones raised some eyebrows when he wouldn't fully commit to bringing head coach Mike McCarthy back for a fifth season. "We'll see how each game goes in the playoffs," he said when asked about McCarthy's future, per Clarence Hill Jr. of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Given a chance to follow up on his apparent wait and see approach Tuesday on 105.3, the fans _Shan and RJ. Jones was far more emphatic about his faith in the Super Bowl-winning coach moving forward. "I was a little surprised," Jones said regarding the reaction to his previous comments. "I don't know how I could be any clearer. Coach McCarthy is under contract for next year, so that's not an issue. Secondly, I couldn't be more pleased with what he's done and how he's coached. I certainly haven't sat down here right in the middle of the playoffs and started talking to him about a contract. Why would you do that? And by the way, he's the busiest cat in all of Texas. So the last thing that I want to do is spend any time talking with him about these kinds of things, on agreements, extension of agreements, especially when I've got one. So, that's it." Jones has said in the past that he's pleased with the job McCarthy is doing. By regular season metrics, he certainly should be. McCarthy has put together a 42-25 record as Dallas head coach, rebounding from a 6-10 record in his first year in charge to rattle off 3 straight 12-win seasons, 2 of which included division titles. 4 years into the decade, the Cowboys' number of campaigns with double-digit wins matches the entirety of their output in the 2010s, 3, and also through the 2000s, 3. Including this one, Dallas has finished first in scoring in 2 different seasons under McCarthy, something the franchise hadn't previously accomplished since 1980. The problem is that the decade of comparison that Jones is measuring things against is the wildly successful 1990s. His Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls that decade, with their last coming in 1995. Not only have they not been back since, but they have yet to advance again beyond the NFC divisional round. McCarthy's many successes have not translated to breaking out of that rut. In 2021, the NFC East champion Cowboys fell to the 49ers on Super Wild Card Weekend. In 2022, Dallas vanquished the Buccaneers and Tom Brady in the final game of his Hall of Fame career before again falling to San Francisco, but in the divisional round. This time around, Dallas enters as the NFC's second seed, 8-0 at home, and guaranteed at least one more game at NT Stadium, where it has a plus 172-point differential. Dak Prescott led the NFL with 36 passing touchdowns as a most valuable player candidate for much of the year. CeeDee Lamb paced the league with 135 receptions, and Micah Parsons captained the defense to a top-5 campaign in points and yards allowed. The road to success is already well paved. That's been the case for many ill-fated Cowboys teams before, which is perhaps why Jones initially seemed more inclined to take things on a game-to-game basis in the contests that count the most before clarifying how pleased he is with McCarthy's work 2 days later. McCarthy can make the narrative moot by going on a run, starting with dispatching the No. 7 seed Packers, who have won 4 in a row against the Cowboys, and 9 of their last 10 dating back to 2009. Although all but 2 of those came with McCarthy roaming the opposite sideline in green and gold. If McCarthy falters against his former team, Jones is certain to hear more questions about the 60-year-old head coach's future. That's likely true even if the Cowboys advance but stumble the following week. The goal, and perhaps the bar, should be reaching an NFC championship game and beyond. If the postseason transpires as seeded, Dallas would be on a collision course for the first-seeded 49ers, who have vanquished the Cowboys in 2 straight playoffs and already embarrassed them, 42-10, in Week 5 this season. Of course, such a meeting is still a few weeks and several results away. Jones, McCarthy, and the Cowboys will have to see how each game goes before then.